For this hike, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to thru-hike part of the Idaho Centennial Trail. So my plan was to start at Thompson Pass and hike over to Lost Creek. To do that, I would need to leave my truck at the end of the trail at Lost Creek and get a ride back to the trailhead. It would mean that once my shuttle left the trailhead, there was only one way out, and that was to hike my way over to my truck at Lost Creek. Okay, we've started the trail. We're at Thompson Pass. And there goes our shuttle. It's one way out now. That's to hike our way to Lost Creek. This section of the trail was nearly all on a ridge. And that ridge was the border between Idaho and Montana. In the previous fall, we had had a really bad windstorm, so I expected a lot of downed trees. But what I got was way more than I could have imagined. The downed trees were getting so thick that I could not find a route over them anymore. I started to have to go around. As soon as I would get back on the trail, I would run into another set of them. It seemed that the further I got in, the worse they were. I needed to make some miles that day, so finally I just gave up and got off the trail to where I could walk. Well, we've been at it for about an hour. The blowdowns are intense. Right now we're off the trail. This is crazy. Hope we don't have to do this the whole way. Well, we're still off trail a little bit. This was one of the first drainages on the map. It is dry. It will be an issue if there's not water where I'm expecting it to be. It will be an issue. And hiking up the mountain, I was using a lot of water. On the map, it showed a number of possible water sources, so I was hopeful one of them would be there. But they were old maps, and I was on the top of a ridge, so there were no guarantees. I had been hiking for an hour and a half, and because of the blowdowns, I had only made it a mile or so. But once I had made it back onto the trail, the blowdowns started to thin out a bit, and I was able to start making some time. We've reached the second water crossing of the trail. This is nothing. I can't believe this is on the map. Now I'm getting a little concerned about water. I think we'll find more snow. But, well, we wanted adventure. We're getting our fair share of that. We continued climbing up the mountain, and the patches of snow were getting bigger and bigger. This is our trail at the moment. No blowdowns, at least. Got our first fork in the trail. So I think we're a mile-ish from where I wanted to camp. Hopefully we can find water. I have not seen snow in a while. Hope it's there. As I started to come down from the peak we were on, the snow disappeared. I was starting to get really worried about our water situation. I'm guessing that the military comes up here for some map and compass training. Found somebody's camp here. Probably a hunting camp, I'm sure. Well, here's another landmark. We will know very soon if we're gonna have water. I made it to the spot that I wanted to camp, but there was no water or snow anywhere around. So from there, I decided that we should probably push on and see if we can find something to drink further down the trail. Every water spot I marked on the map is dry. I haven't seen snow for a couple hours. So we're gonna push on to another. It might mean some night hiking. If it's not there, we might be walking out tomorrow. Well, we found a little snow. Got my bottles filled. That little bit of snow is a real boost. At least now I know I can take care of timber tonight. It also gives me some hope. When we get up here, we might just find some snow. I thought we were too low. But I guess if the spot's shady enough around on the other side of this mountain, I think it might be a little shadier than here. As I got closer to Dixie Pass, I was going over all the options and bug out routes off the mountain and some ways I could come up with water. The next day I knew that I would come across areas that I had hiked before, and I knew where water was from those areas. But all of those water sources would take me off my desired route and several hundred feet down the mountain. Well, this is it. It's an actual camp, so that makes me happy. We're tight on water. But with that extra little snow we got, it's gonna make it okay for tonight. And he actually found a mud puddle on the way here and drank his fill, so even better. Once I arrived at camp, I was hoping I could go over to the opposite side of the ridge and run into some snow. I walked over to where I could see down the road a ways into Montana, and I thought that way down there I could see a patch of snow, maybe a quarter mile off. So my plan was to fill my water bag with snow, melt it as much as I could. I had a lot riding on being able to find a patch of snow. So it's about 8:30. Got about 15 minutes of light. It's already getting dark. I'm on the Montana side of the ridge here. I spotted what I think is a big snowbank, probably a quarter mile down here. And my plan is to go down there and shovel all the snow into this thing that it'll hold. It better be snow. I'm hoping it's snow. If I can, we're walking out of here with 5 liters tomorrow, as much as I can carry. Fuck, it's not snow. God damn it. Well, from about a quarter mile away, that looked like snow. To me. What it is, it's an old mine. This is pretty cool, but sure is a disappointment. Oh well. Plan B. Well, here we go. This is hopefully a rain trap, but it's also Timber's bowl for tonight. That's all the water he has. I might have a liter. We are dangerously low. It was a crazy first day of the hike. The blowdowns, the dry water holes, and the many miles that lay ahead had me worried. Timber and I watched the sunset until it dipped over the far mountain. Then we walked back to camp, settled in for the night, and wondered what the next day would bring. Alright, I decided to call it a night. Just be easier with no water if I just go to sleep. And I'm pretty beat. See you in the morning. Twice, early in the morning, Timber chased animals out of our camp. I was optimistic that we had run into more snow. We were climbing higher than we had climbed the day before, so chances were good. We're almost packed up. I'm just trying to keep my hands warm. Gonna be looking forward to going uphill first thing. I think we're both doing pretty good. I gotta collect what water we got in the rain catch. I'm gonna put it in a bottle, and hopefully we come across some snow pretty quick. I think so, about a mile to the first one of those peaks. $7:20. We're out of here. Trail's been pretty good. Closing in on that first peak, maybe half mile. I've been taking more water than I wanted to, but just taking little sips. We're doing all right though. The trail is really cool. Really cool. Look what we have stumbled upon. Look at the size of this drift. We're gonna get our water right there. Once I found the snow, it was time to set up shop and melt as much of it as I could. My plan was to fill my water bag with snow, melt some snow in my pod, get it hot, and pour it back into my water bag to help melt the other snow. I was definitely going to leave there with as much water as I could carry. While I was melting the snow, it started to rain on and off. We're still in the process here. Might need to build this bad boy up if it's going to rain. Got it stoked up. Already got a liter out of my filter here, and there's more to be had in there, so I think we're gonna stay the course. Right now it's starting to rain pretty steady, so I might have to set up my tarp. I was just looking at that. That's an old time blaze right there. So it's been raining on and off, blowing some. Been here a couple hours. I've got probably 2.5 liters in my Camelback. I've filled the other liter bottle, so we just need to generate about 1.5 liters more of water. Maybe a little more of that so Timber can get something before we march out of here. Looking forward to getting moving here. Well, it's kind of quit raining for the moment. Ooh. Not full sun, but we'll take it. It's about to go away. Clouds are moving quick. It looks dark to the west. Just the way we do it. Improvise, we roll with the punches. And I'm sure there's more punches to come. Feeling pretty good about things. Even if I get out of here at noon, that should give me 7-8 hours of hiking time. I doused my fire with the snow, and in the end, I had made 6 liters of water. I drank 1 and I was carrying 5. Okay, we are just leaving our water camp. Look at that sun. That was about a 3-hour stop. Baby, this pack is heavy. Well, we got to take advantage of the sun while we can. It looks like more weather's coming. Before long, I was seeing the first signs of a massive fire that we had had in the summer of 2015. And it was just about that time that the weather started to catch up with me. The weather is almost on us. place we've been before. This spot anyway. This is where the Trout Creek Trail meets Continental Divide State Line Trail. But it looks a little different now. So we're 2 hours out of where we filled up water. Pretty good trail. If you have to get off the trail in the burn though, boy, it's so slick. So slick, it's really tough. I don't know how far up it burned, but chances are all the way. Sure looks different. There was no view last time. The trail from the sign climbed up and up. I was seeing less signs of the burn, but the weather was getting much worse the higher I went. Well, we're just taking a rest here. 3 o'clock now. Slogging up this hill. These drifts are huge and they make it tough to find the trail. I'm looking up the hill there. I just see things swirling around. It started to rain again. I'm getting a little chilly, so we're gonna have to get up and go. The weather and my whole situation was getting my spirits down. I was seeing large snowdrifts and I was starting to wonder if I would be able to get through the trail. Well, right as we were getting ready to leave, the storm kind of picked up. It's raining pretty hard now. And I decided to hold up and see if it passes or lets up or something. I don't like this next part I gotta do. I can tell there's snow on it. It's on the side of the hill. So I think we'll just let this pass. Hopefully it does. I had wanted to wait for the weather to pass, but in the end, I decided to just make a break for it. As I made my way down the other side of the mountain, I found myself back in the burn. I was fighting the weather the whole time. The rain was relentless and I was soaked. Finally, I made it down to where I'd wanted to camp, but the wind was blowing so hard that I decided to move on. I'd already made up my mind that I would not follow my initial route and would instead take Road 270 down to Trail 598 on Bobtail Ridge. It was a shorter hike, but much more difficult. By the time I found a camp, I was exhausted and cold. Somehow, I set up my camp, took care of timber, and crawled into my sleeping bag to try to get warm. So it is 7 o'clock. We are down Road 270. We're bugging out. We're not going to go the full, go over and hit the 502 trail. We're going to take the 598. We're not quite down to it. I saw this spot. It looked okay. And right now I'm just in my sleeping bag trying to get warm. Yeah. Sorry, I'm shaking. I can't hold the camera still. I fought through leg cramps and shivering and stayed in my hammock for a solid 12 hours. All right, well, it's about a little after 8. I am up. I am back in my wet pants and got my wet shoes on. Gonna get some coffee going and then pack up as we do it. So I am a little worried about Trail 598. It's really steep. If it burned in there, it's gonna be treacherous. I've done it before. Didn't like it the first time. I thought I'd never do it again. Well, last night I slept right on the edge of the burn. Maybe in the burn, but the trees I was tied to weren't burned. All right, it's about 9:30. We are on the move. I think we're both feeling pretty good today, considering how we got into camp last night. This section is still burned, starting to worry me. This way. It's about 10 o'clock and we are at our old campsite. Looks like it survived, no burn. Pretty cool. Well, the easy part is about over. Once we hit the sign, then the trail gets tricky. 5 miles to go. It's a rough 5 miles. The trail is starting to get technical. The upper part of this trail is really nice, really pretty, really fun. We're getting into the steeper stuff now. Not seeing any signs of burn, so that's good. Hopefully that continues. We are into the technical part of the hike. All right, we've made it down here to the first flat. That trail was every bit the brute I thought it was going to be. It really took it out of me. Boy, this trail is tough. Really tough. Take your time. I took my time. I slid plenty, but I didn't go down yet. Well, we've climbed the hill and into a section I remember. I think we are pretty much at the flat. And I think we're gonna filter a little water when we get to the creek. I'm out. I could probably do it without water, but just to be safe. All right, we're across the creek, home stretch now. I think we're gonna stop at where Timber and I had his first camp out. I think we'll stop there and filter some water. Wrapping it up. I'd expect 2.5 miles to go. Sitting here at Timber's first camp. We came here for an overnighter last year, I guess. Now that I'm off that hill, this is not bad. Pretty overgrown though, surprising. Gonna be happy to call this one over though. I'm getting tired. Timber's actually laying down, so I know he's getting tired. Seeing some landmarks. We're almost there. We're at the junction. Definite home stretch now. I'm a little sad, but I'm also really happy to get this one over. This was 3 days of tough hikes. Whew. Either way, we're home. Well, we're back to the truck. We're on time. Been looking forward to this moment.